Hi, my project is about Raphael. Raphael is a very popular and old painter in the 1480s through 1500s, leading figure of Italian High Renaissance classicism. Raphael is best known for his Madonnas, including nude people. His artwork. He made a series of Madonnas and did a lot of artwork done of nude babies and people. And that nude means naked. Okay. Raphael was born on April 6, 1483 in Urbino, Italy. When he was just 11 years old, his father died, so he took over his dad's workshop. My resources are Google, Bing, Yahoo Images, and Fire. I'll get back to that later. His dad's workshop. When his dad died, he had to take over his dad's workshop. It teaches him responsibility.
Leonardo da Vinci, by me, Patrick. Leonardo was born on 1452 and lived in Vinci, about 25 miles west of Florence, and died on 1519 in France. He was the illegitimate, born to unmarried parents, son of Ser Piero da Vinci, a prominent notary, a public official who certifies legal documents, of Florence, and a local woman, Caterina. Not much is known about Leonardo's childhood, except that when he was 15, his father apprenticed him to Andrea del Verrocchio in 1435 to 1488, the leading artist of Florence and the early Renaissance. This is what Leonardo at the age of 15. Where Leonardo lived. Leonardo, most of his life, lived in the Service Ludovico in Mora in Milan in Italy. Right here. Milan. This is the place where Leonardo lived. What Leonardo worked as? Leonardo worked as a painter. This is the painting of Mona Lisa. A sculptor. The sculptor is the man on a horse. And his architect work, this is his flying machine. Leonardo's Da Vinci flying machine. We know that the flying machine is real because we saw Leonardo's sketches, but we never found the real models. So here's some sketches. One of Leonardo's top sculpture. This sculpture was made by Leonardo da Vinci, and the sculpture is a flying angel. My resources is Bing Images, Google Images, and thank you for watching my presentation.
My project is about Raphael, and here are some pictures of Raphael. Yes, 1, 2, 3, yes. So Raphael's birth. So Raphael was born in Italy on March 28, 1483, or April 6, 1483. The reason I have 2 dates is because they're not exactly sure what date he was born on. But what we do know is the exact location of his birth. So he was born in Urbino, Italy, and here are some pictures of the city. So yeah, right here in the zoo. You can see the zoo. So Raphael's paintings. So he made many paintings, and here are just 3 of the ones that I did. So you can see it, and he made many pictures of this, many paintings of this. Here's a painting of Adam and Eve, and here's also a painting, but they did many paintings of this, like that one. So yeah. So Raphael's architecture. So this is actually the location of this, and this is in Rome, and this is by Raphael's grave. And so yeah, and these are some of Raphael's sculptures. So here it is an archangel, and here I believe is an archangel too. So in general, this is where Raphael's work. So like I said before, this is by his grave. This is an archangel, and this is a painting of his mistress. So Raphael's dead. So he died on April 6th, 1520, at the age of 37 in Rome, Italy. So here's a picture of Raphael's grave. Here is a Roman Colosseum, and the reason I put the Roman Colosseum there is just so you can see how Rome looks like, and this is the Roman Senate. So, and my resources are Google Images. So thank you for watching my project.
This is Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo was a painter, sculptor, musician, architect, mathematician, engineer, inventor, anatomist, artist, geologist, and writer. Leonardo was also Italian. Leonardo was the artist who painted the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is displayed in the Louvre Museum in Paris. The reason why the Mona Lisa is so famous is because it was the only portrait found that was by Leonardo. She is also popular because of her smile. Leonardo was famous for being a painter, architecture, engineer, sculptor, and scientist. His nationality was Italian. He was born on April 15, 1452 AD. He died in May 2, 1519 AD. He died in Clos Luz. Leonardo had one brother named Bartolomeo da Vinci. Leonardo's arts and painting. The Mona Lisa wasn't the only painting Leonardo made. He made others that were just as beautiful. The picture you are looking at now is called The Last Supper. Leonardo's horse. The story with Leonardo's horse was that Leonardo was not the one who sculpted his horse. Someone else did, by using his drawings and writing. So the horse was not sculpted by Leonardo. He designed it. Early life. He lived with his father, grandparents, and uncle. His father married a 16-year-old girl named Elvira, who loved Leonardo but died young. His early subject was historical conjecture.
Early life. Michelangelo is widely regarded as the most famous artist of the Renaissance period. Among his works are the David and the Pieta statues and the Sistine Chapel frescoes. Michelangelo was born on March 6, 1475 in Capri, Italy. Michelangelo was a painter, sculptor, architect, and poet. Michelangelo was one of the most famous artists in the Italian Renaissance. Michelangelo was exposed to the technique of fresco sculpture. Michelangelo Bernatti's work is without doubt the most revered sculptor of the Renaissance period, and despite his fresco work in the Sistine Chapel, he always considered himself to be a sculptor rather than a painter. While at the Medici School, he would often criticize the work of students less skillful than himself. One story relates to the prescience of Pietro Torlonia, who became so enraged by the remarks of his fellow student that he punched him in the face, breaking his nose. Even so, Michelangelo's genius was not quelled by this violent encounter. He produced a copy of an ancient marble sculpture, a faun. He was a poet. This poem says, "I am the artist whose work lies on the cold stone of the cathedral ceiling. I yearn for the words, but cannot hear them. I am the artist whose work stands in the cool mess of sculptured courtyards. I ache for the touch, but cannot feel it. I am the artist who seeks the truth, but I cry alone in a sea of millions. I call to you now, but can you hear me? I am the artist I must search, for without from within, and the culture lives by the stroke of my hand." Painter. As a boy of 13, he persuaded his reluctant father to allow him leave his grammar school and become an appreciate of the artist Domenico Ghirlandaio, one of the most successful fresco painters in Michelangelo's time. Michelangelo's skill now attracted the personal attention of Lorenzo di Medici, called the Magnificent, who was an effective ruler of Florence at the time. He was so impressed by a statue of Michelangelo's carving that he invited him to live in the Medici household. An architect. Despite this failure to bring his grand architecture visions to completion, he never lost his passion for invention and design. At the age of 65, he had yet to embark on two of the two most important architectural commissions of his brilliant career. This picture you are looking at is one of his architect buildings he did. These are some of his sculptures, his paintings, and my resources were Google Images, www.biography.com, www.howstuffworks.com.
Raphael by Adrian. Raphael was born on April 6th or March 26th. He was an artist in the Renaissance. And he was a sculptor, an artist, and a painter. Raphael's homeland. Raphael was an artist in Italy. Raphael was born in where did you roll? Where do you roll? Religion. Raphael's religion was Roman religion. Raphael was a great artist, and there is one artwork that he worked on in the Middle Age Europe. Raphael's homeland was in Randu, Rome. Resources.